Blake Hastings here.
Rob Swanson.
And Marty Wilcox.
And we're the band hIPNOSTIC.
hIPNOSTIC.
Ah, yes, and you are listening to Honest Brutality.
Created by the people. Created for the people. No holds barred. No punches pulled. Just honest brutality.
I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking. But you don't ever talk about my band again. What's this honest brutality shit anyway?
Honest brutality.
Hi everybody, Camaro Rebel here with Honest Brutality. We have the guys from hIPNOSTIC on the line. We have Blake, Marty, and Rob. Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, awesome.
Howdy.
Howdy, I love it.
That was straight out of Orland is what that was.
Oh, dude, we should make shirts that say that.
Oh.
Wow.
Who just died? Did anybody else hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I was plugging in a speaker.
Oh.
That's so metal.
We thought somebody got electrocuted.
Oh, I ate some seat with my sphincter.
Man, I'm a little bummed out nobody died. That would have been a first on our podcast.
No.
Get
out of here. Oh my gosh.
Was that bad?
Yes, it was bad. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to hang out with us. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yes.
Let's talk real quick about this new single, Ain't No Sunshine. My. I just can't. There's no words. It's amazing. You guys.
How about kick ass?
I like it.
You guys made it your own. We were talking about this before. And if you're going to do a cover, you got to be as good as, if not better, than the original artist. And you guys blew it out of the water.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Very humbled by that. Yes, thank you very much for that, Rebel. Yeah, actually, that's kind of the way we view doing covers. We're not really a band that has really ever done covers before, and kind of always felt that this song, like I said, personally for me and for Rob, was always kind of a favorite through years of growing up. And it just really had a dark feel to it, and the way Bill Withers always, it was such a classic. There's just no way that you could possibly do a better job than the original classic that he did. So, but just love the feel of it. So, was playing around with some music arrangement and really, truly, it's really a true hIPNOSTIC, arrangement type song that we would do. If you took the lyrics off and we put other lyrics in, it would be maybe a traditional, so to speak, hIPNOSTIC tune, but we kind of morphed in some of the Bill Withers in there and, the lyrics and some of the melody and chorus, we kind of created a little bit different vibe on it. And then the interlude.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
I love that. Maybe I'll have to use that on stage.
That's
Interlude.
or backstage.
That's the name of a new song.
Yeah. But the center interlude part, the breakdown and then, kind of pulling in some of the Bill Withers, I know thing into it. But, it's really been, the reaction to it's been probably more than we ever expected. And thank you so much for embracing the tune. It's just been awesome hearing you crank it up. So thank you.
Yeah.
We've gotten really good response on it.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's an interesting dynamic where the cover tune is concerned right now, especially your choice. I think that you picked something that a certain cutoff, a certain audience isn't really even going to know that that's not yours if they hear it. The younger crowd.
Yeah, true.
Point.
For one
Good
thing.
point.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
And for two, we've seen this huge resurgence in bands doing a selective cover and it doing wonders for the band and for their career and where they're headed. For the sake of argument, Bubba Flex, they're friends of ours.
Yeah.
And they did a cover that is just that people still, that's what they want when, they're like, yes, more of that. And it's just really interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to do that song?
Because I think it just kind of resonated with me, and Rob himself too. And I know with Marty it did as well. I think it was just, I guess, I think it's a classic tune. I think, I mean, those songs going back to the early 70s, there's so much classic stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
I think bringing, the thing that we always hear about that tune is that it's almost, even some of the younger generation, everybody has heard that tune. It's so iconic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say, there's not a person we haven't said, hey, it's a remake of remember the old Bill Withers, Ain't No Sunshine? And people go, oh, I love that song. I love that song. So I think kind of answer your question is I just truly, when I got into, writing the arrangement and putting the heavy riffs to it, I just said, I just love that tune from, when I was a younger child, just hearing it cranked up. So I think that's where it really started. And I remember through all the years of kind of going, should we do a cover? You always have friends going, hey, you should do this. Hey, why don't you crank up?
Yeah.
Why don't you remake a Casey and the Sunshine Band song?
Right. We laugh, but it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So that's really what it was through all the years when it finally kind of came together. And then Rob and I were thinking about it, and then bringing Marty in on that. It just has been awesome.
Well, I'm sure it was a toss up between that and the Do Run Run.
Yeah.
Going back to the 70s. Right? Actually, it was interesting to me that you chose that song to do as a cover, mostly because, speaking from experience, I try to pick a song, if I'm going to do a cover at all, that is a little more obscure, because then you're not compared to the original. And that's the scary part for me, because if people really know a song, especially a classic like that, you can get beat up.
Right. But
Yes.
but the way they did it, it's their own song.
It
So
was
there's
smart.
no comparison.
It was really smart.
There's zero comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you guys
and that's
did a
what's
great
kinda
job on
neat.
it.
It is, and I think really truly was is maybe part of the reason why we shied away from covers was because you really can't. Sometimes the classic cannot be beaten. I mean,
Right,
that just
exactly.
imagine what can you do to it if and if you get online, you can see there's a million people that have remade that song. I mean, Sting has redone it. I mean, Lenny Kravitz, I believe. I mean, we even had one of our own. Zakk Wylde did a version of it last 2 years ago on a record. And but the thing is everybody kind of used the exact same arrangement. And you got Sting singing Bill Withers. You've got Zakk singing Bill Withers. And we thought, like, what are we gonna? We're not Zakk, we're not Sting, we're not Lenny. We're a fairly unknown original heavy hard rock band out of Orange County, California. We're just going to do. We're just going to do it our way, and as if we were writing a brand new hIPNOSTIC song, but morphing in some of those ideas. So, I mean, it's really been, I think, to all three of us, it's been a huge surprise, and the way it all came out and the mix on it just really presented all the stuff well that we kind of I think we were kind of definitely shocked ourselves too.
Yeah, well, that's good, definitely. So when is your guys' next full-length album going to be released? Are you guys working on one right now?
We are currently working on that right now. We have about 80% of it recorded, and Marty here is fairly new to the band, so we're going to go into the studio with him and put his flavoring on it as it's much needed. And then we're going to get in there and finish up the vocals and mix it all down. We should have it out sometime this next year, soon.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's long overdue. We've been involved in so many different things. With working on the video and working on the shows and working on some new songs. So it's really, like I said, it's going to be exciting. We really, like I said, Rob said we want to get it out mid 2017. And I'm really excited about a lot of the material on there that's going to be, along in the same fashion and drive and heaviness. Even from the first record, it's definitely a heavier record. The maturity of the band has grown from in all aspects, production, just the way we're writing songs and stuff. So it's going to be real exciting. So you guys are going to get the exclusive.
Nice.
Wonderful. We're looking forward to it.
So
I love it.
Are you guys looking to get on the road a little bit next summer then?
Yeah, I think we're all going to get in Marty's van and just head on out.
Oh, snap. That ought
Marty,
to be awesome.
what's your van's name?
I don't have a van. I actually have a Camaro, so it might be a little. I'd like to see that, though.
It's his drum set in his Camaro.
Do you really?
I absolutely do.
Is it a new Camaro or an old Camaro?
A new one.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny.
Wow.
I just
That's
drove
talent.
one a couple months ago. I love it.
It's very scientific. This is no joke. I literally had to
like keep trying to load this thing in for probably at least 2 days till I figured out the pattern. And it only goes in one way and it only comes out one way.
I get it.
So
fellow drummer.
Next time you load up your drums, you're going to have to take a picture and send it to us on our Honest Brutality Facebook page.
Well, you got to see. It's funny because I get the looks that I get when people pull up next to me, and I got a bass drum riding shotgun.
Well, you probably got it narrowed down to a bass drum, a snare, and a hi-hat. That's all you can fit. That's all you get.
I actually get a 6-piece kit in there.
Wow.
Oh, no shit.
Well, the trunks are actually pretty big in those things. It's a back seat that's crack-a-lacking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and then when you bring your son to help out, you got to bungee cord him to the top of the car.
Yeah, I was thinking like you remember on National Lampoon's Vacation with the ant. That's
The chair.
gonna bungee a lawn chair onto maybe the top.
That's amazing.
You just see him coming down the road like the Beverly Hillbillies. Strapped on.
Maybe we can have him hold a hIPNOSTIC sign while we're traveling back.
We'll play for food.
Oh, it's amazing.
So going back to the new album and the material that you're recording, just out of curiosity, are we to expect some of that sound and that flavor that we hear in the recent single and the cover, There Ain't No Sunshine? Is that kind of the angle you're approaching it, or is it completely different?
Oh, no, it's right on course with that. I think the part of the thing was we were working on the record and juggling so many things there going on. We really wanted to get a single out, and because it had been many years before Dissolve Me was released many years back. We needed to get a new single, kind of start the new chapter, kind of reconnect with fans and kind of show them where the band's going. So it's really, Ain't No Sunshine really laid the groundwork for what's going to come on this next record. So I'm absolutely in that same mindset of just real heavy riffing. So right on course with Ain't No Sunshine, taking it from there. And then obviously some heavier stuff. I would actually honestly probably maybe, I guess you'd consider that maybe a little lighter than the rest of the record. Even though it's not really light, but the rest of the record's got some real heavy riff.
That's not a bad thing.
Awesome.
We've got some heavier stuff, definitely.
Heck yeah. Woo, bring it on.
Ain't No Sunshine's kind of middle of the road for us. So you're going to hear some heavier stuff, and you're going to hear some, hopefully, if it makes it on, maybe some acoustical stuff too.
Oh,
right on.
Done in a heavy way. So dark and heavy.
I got a curious question about the track Ain't No Sunshine and the way it was recorded. Now, when that bass tone, is that the bass tone you roll with, or is that something you came up with specifically for that song?
It's pretty close to what I roll with. When Blake was doing the mix down of that, we were trying to come up with a sound, and at the same time, I was out shopping for distortion boxes, trying a whole bunch of different stuff, and I called him up and I said, "Look, man, the only one I think is really going to work is this Sansamp DI pedal, and it was awesome sound." And he goes, "You know what, man?" He says, "That's the plug-in I found online and that I used for your sound on here. I can't wait for you to hear it." And it was smoking. Loved it.
Okay, so here's another thing. You guys are a 3-piece band. You don't see that a whole lot in today's day and age.
Right.
Not as much as you used to.
Right.
So you, as a bass player, you don't have any room to slouch.
No, you've got to tie the rhythm and the melody together. I play somewhat melodic riffs. I play I'm pretty much synced with the drums, the kick drum, and I'm pulling in some melodic stuff from the guitar. And I don't know, it's just natural for me. I've always played with just one guitar player and tried to fill the spot the best I can, with the best stuff for the song.
It sounds great. It sounds killer. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Now you guys have been doing a lot of shows, so tell us what you've been up to.
We've taken some interesting gigs. They're kind of all over the board. We've done. We went out with Fuel, did a few shows with those guys. We did a couple shows with Sebastian Bach. We did the Make America Rock Again tour with Puddle of Mud, Trapped, Crazy Town, Tantric, Alien Ant Farm.
Wow.
So that was really a cool show. There's the volume of people that was there. That was on a large scale and just very cool, man. Who else have we went out with here? as of late.
Well, you went out with the
Well,
Backstreet Boys, didn't you?
Oh,
Well, we
yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, we did. We were their backstage opening act, I guess.
Yeah. And
Choreographers.
actually, next year we're out with Enrique Iglesias.
Oh my gosh.
I love these guys.
Rob, how do you feel about those small stages at those smaller venues?
Oh man,
I mean, how did
I'm
you
a
know that?
wild man on stage, and there's something comes out of me when I walk onto one. And if I got a tight spot, it's a tight spot.
Yeah.
I'm banging into the drums. I'm banging into the speakers. I almost fall off the stage. Yeah, it's hard to control myself. So
Poor Marty's back there like, lay off, man.
That's a great question, Rebel, because that's actually a discussion we have when we play the whiskey, and Rob makes that comment about, gosh, these small stages. So I mean, that's an awesome question.
last time we played there, well, I guess it was the time before last, Blake and I got up on the front stage wall and we stood up and we both slammed our heads right into the overhead speakers.
Oh, wow.
I saw the little birdies go around that one.
Yeah, it's really been an awesome year. Kind of taken, from where Marty was talking about the year with the shows. I mean, it really started off. It's really been in the band's history. It's been the most incredible year the band's had. Obviously, the singles starting off, and then this year started off. We had the opportunity to open for Jeff Tate from Queensryche, which was awesome.
Yeah, that's
What an incredible gentleman! I meant just really, really kind and just awesome. So I mean, we did that, and then we did Puddle of Mud, which was an incredible show that we did with them at a club down in Redondo Beach called St. Rock, and so that was awesome. We're huge fans of that, and we've really gotten to know them quite well, and so there's more shows in the future, and then we did the Make America Rock tour show with Puddle. So it was really good. So it's been really a lot of shows, and we did Scott Stapp from Creed, which was awesome. So it's really been these opportunities. These shows have been coming to us this year, and it's been just an awesome blessing to be able to play with all these artists and do these shows. And really, like to say, to get out and meet new people that are fans of these bands, these big guys that have played on big stages. We get a chance for people who would not hear our music to see us and hear us, and we've really seen that's really gained us a lot of new fans and a lot of exposure to the single Ain't No Sunshine. So it's been really awesome.
I have a question for each and every single one of you, but first I'm going to give kind of like a little introduction to this question. When we are out, like say at Aftershock Festival, we're in the media tent and we're doing our thing, we're interviewing bands and whatnot, and we see a lot of bands go by and we're like, you can't be a fan at that moment. You just can't, like I can't fangirl and they can't fanboy, Marty, let's start with you. What artists have you seen during your touring that you were like, oh my God, I cannot fanboy right now, but I totally am inside? Like who's the artist?
Well, I got to say, it's probably Wes Scantlin, who isn't a fan of Puddle of Mud at some capacity.
Right.
And for me, I literally got the call to be in Hypnostic, to audition about 2.5 weeks prior to that show.
Wow.
And so there's all this like crunch time. I got to learn all this material. I think I had like 6 rehearsals, and then, go out and do a show with these guys. And I kind of felt a little fanned out, I guess you could say, best. Just because back in the early 2000s, I was signed to Interscope Records, and it was about the same time that Puddle did, and I remember passing him by in the hallways and stuff at the studio, but to see how far he grew and how far he took it, and here we are again passing through the same hallway again, except this time now I kind of feel like I have to talk to him.
Right.
So I was a little geeked out for a few minutes, for sure.
I love it.
That's awesome.
What about you, Blake?
Well, you know what? It's kind of funny. I'm thinking it's a great question. I mean, you guys have some awesome questions. I think for me, I think each one of the shows, which was so amazing for me personally, is that I had such a connection with a lot of the people we played with this year. I meant, obviously growing up with Queensryche and the incredible voice that Jeff had. I think I was a little, it was like, I guess, fanned out a little bit in meeting him. I meant, and part of the thing is you don't know how the people are going to be,
Right.
So meeting him was awesome. I meant, like Marty says, always been huge fans of Puddle of Mudd. We kind of consider them maybe in kind of the genre of our music, kind of that post grunge, more, I don't know what you want to call it, kind of in a way more, versus maybe some of the hair Nation type stuff. But I think for this year to answer, really, I think each one of them, when we had these show offers, I was thinking like, wow, so Wes was just, just incredible. He's really a kid at heart. He's an awesome guy. He's so funny. He cracked jokes that you don't even expect he's going to say.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, Rob and I, huge fans of Creed, of course. So get the opportunity to meet Scott. Never met Scott, had met Mark Tremonti many times. And so that was awesome. And then, of course, Sebastian Bach is a larger than life figure. So it was really just, for me, I can't really pick one because each one of them meant so much to me. So I would say this year, all these guys have been awesome.
Yeah.
But I can't say one guy I would love to open for. Yeah. And it would be someday. I hope that we get a chance to open for maybe a solo tour with Chris Cornell, because I'm a huge Chris Cornell.
Oh, there you go.
Man.
There you go.
Good call.
Or maybe Chris will open for you. Come on, think big.
Think big.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
but that's perhaps a bucket list thing for myself. So I don't know. What
Cool.
about you?
You ready? What about you, Rob?
For me, I think it was probably both Jeff Tate. I was a huge Queensryche fan back in the day, and of course Scott Stapp. It was great to finally meet him. I love all the Creed music and his solo stuff as well. It was awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you. I like that. See there?
Yeah, hey, I see that.
We all are fans of something.
It's really funny is my sister dated Scott.
What?
15 years ago.
Get out.
Yeah, she's an actress. You guys probably know her, Kristy Swanson.
What? Buffy?
Yeah, Buffy.
Get out of town. That's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
she and Scott went out about 15 years ago, and I think they didn't have a bass player at that time. He had left the band, or they kicked him out or something, and they had just met. They were going to Hawaii together, and I guess the relationship went south on their trip. So I actually never got to meet him back then. So I was like, dang.
Wow.
Good job, sis.
Thanks for nothing.
Couldn't hold it together.
Just for one more week.
Come on, man.
Oh my
Help
god.
a brother out.
So now, Blake and Rob, you guys have a lot of history together. You guys were in Licks Array and Spirit Tree, and those are the two that I know of. Were you guys in other bands, and how did you guys meet?
Wow, that's great. I'm impressed. You guys.
Come on, man. It's honest brutality.
Well,
We do our homework, bro.
I'm thoroughly impressed by that. You guys are one pro act, man.
We don't mess
Thank you.
around.
You are too. Likewise.
He doesn't know I'm sitting here in my
Yeah.
pajamas.
Yeah. Well,
They are too.
Rob and I always say we're brothers from a different mother. It's just a natural partnership. We started. There were earlier versions of Licks Array that I had been trying to, kind of get together. The version of Licks Array had kind of defunct and ended, and I thought, well, I'll try again, and that's where Rob and I connected up. Actually, Rob played with a local band. Us and the other guys had mentioned we need to, get a new bass player, and
Javelin.
Javelin was a band. So he just had everything about him. He had the it factor and the talent, and so we kind of reached out to him. He had the hair.
He had the hair.
And the most important thing, he could fit into a nice tight pair of spandex.
Perfect. That's amazing.
And let it be known that he had, and he can wear some assless chaps once in a while, right?
Oh, man.
Marty was definitely back in the day, and it definitely won't be coming around again.
Says
Let's hope
you.
not, anyway.
Yeah.
All this is reminding me of the movie Rockstar.
That's okay, because before you guys got on, Marty said he'd be okay with doing it. So
Yeah.
So he said crotchless
because
pants.
he's
I don't know.
sitting down the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
So then, okay, well, that's great. I like that. I like that little history there. And I want to know how you guys ran into Marty.
Well, I think he was at the convenience store, weren't you, Marty?
Yeah.
How convenient.
A big old bag of chips.
Wait, what?
No, we were at the store, but
Nasty corn dog.
I think I was at the store buying assless chaps. And I ran into the shop.
Yeah, Marty asked me. He asked me how they look, and I'm all.
I'm like, did these make my
really?
Well, we Rob and I were going through some changes in the band,
Mhm.
and we're at a stage where we needed to find a new member, a new drum member, and had connected with Marty a year prior, and got to know him, and we exchanged some information. Was thoroughly impressed with his background and just his enthusiasm. And then at that time, the timing was not particularly ready for Marty yet. And so, a year late, like Marty was saying, this early part of 2016, we had an opportunity where we needed to make the change. And I just always remember the great feeling we had in talking with Marty and his talent and his resume, a backlog of stuff he's done. And so just instantly just popped in my mind that I needed to kind of reach out and find out. We hadn't talked in a year. And, when I put a phone call out to him, I was hoping that his phone number was still working, and it was. And he answered back within the hour. And we had just the most incredible conversation. And it just was really kind of, sometimes in life you have those, especially being in bands. And I know you guys can understand this. You go through a lot of member changes. Sometimes not everybody's on the same page.
Right.
And truly it's a marriage by two or three, because it's just not you and your partner, you and your two or three other people. And so Rob and I really needed to make that change, and it was time for that. And then I just remembered, and I reached out to Marty first right off the bat. And it really was one of those moments where, Rob and I have been together for so many years. It's been a natural family feeling amongst the two of us. And we just really needed to find another person that fit in and really understood what we were doing. And most importantly, that we were just truly just people that appreciate and treat each other with kindness. And Marty was really that. So it really, on top of that, his incredible handsome looks and his incredible drumming playing just makes it all that much better.
It was kind of an interesting thing because originally I had reached out to them. I saw an ad and I sent my resume and so forth. And unfortunately, I was a day late and $1 short. They had already found somebody. And it was really fluky to me that a year later I get this phone call, and it's Blake. And he's going, hey, we were looking again. We remembered you. We liked your the videos and your discographies, and we'd like to, see if you'd be interested still in coming on down and auditioning. And I think you called me on a Wednesday. I auditioned on Monday, and it was just magic. I mean, the first night we were in the studio together. I knew immediately within minutes that there was something definitely going on here. The chemistry was right.
So did I.
Their level of playing is really incredible. And it was just kind of like what I needed at that point. I really needed to get with some guys that, were on that level. And they were them. And then not to mention, they were great. They're awesome guys to work with. We're great friends. And, and Rob rocks those damn chaps. So that was
you guys are harsh. Rob, being on the rhythm side, hooking up with that drummer, you're the one I would lean on in that situation. You just felt it right away?
Yeah, it was just like hot butter going over bread. It just went real smooth. I just clicked real easy with him. His foot patterns were just, I love them. I just love everything about his playing. It just, he fit just perfect.
There's a pocket. And a lot of people don't understand that if you're not in a band, you've never been in a band.
Exactly.
If that bass player and that drummer are the life of your band. Sorry, Blake, but the bass player and the drummer, and you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
If they can't fill it, especially with a 3-piece,
Yeah.
if you can't fill it
There
up
are
and
no
make
slouches.
it tight,
Yeah, if they're not tight. Yeah.
You got to have some magic there, and it sounds like to me that's what's going on.
Well, and the listening audience probably also doesn't not be, if they're not musicians, for those of you who are not, it's one of the most interesting things in the world. It's very hard to explain. I know exactly what they mean. When you walk into a room and you don't know these guys and you're going to play with them for the first time, and everybody hits those first few notes, and you just, it's something you feel. You just feel it. It doesn't just sound good. I mean, your whole body just starts to reverberate with like the music, and that's when and that's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
You know what was really cool too was that I think when I showed up to do the audition, I think that their expectations that I'd be just know one or two songs, and I had really done my homework I lived and breathed hIPNOSTIC for about 5 days before I came in.
Yeah.
It was like we just did song after song after song after song after song, and it was awesome. I mean, it was
cool.
It was like we were all been in the band together for so long, not just 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's impressive, Marty, because you were putting the time in behind the scenes, and I cannot tell you, and I bitched about it on our show several times, how I would show up to rehearsal and to find the guys that aren't putting the time in outside of rehearsal.
They weren't practicing on their own.
It drove me freaking crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely. I mean, it definitely helps out a lot. It gets the ball moving forward a lot quicker.
Now, Marty, we know about Blake and Rob, their history as far as bands they've been in. I don't know what bands you've been in. What is your history as far as that's concerned?
Well, I've been in a few, to say the least.
He's a drummer. They get around.
Well, it's kind of funny. I mean, I did the whole circuit, playing bars and top 40 and so forth. And I decided to move to Orange County in like 1998. And I finally met these guys called Allen's Wrench. Mm-hmm. And they were kind of like just a regular rock band. And they had actually gained some momentum and so forth. And we did a lot of shows with a lot of national acts, and we're getting some airplay. And then we had an A&R guy show up from Atlantic and watched us play at the House of Blues. And after the show, he kind of came up and said, well, you guys are good, but you're just not really what we're looking for right now. And, that's cool, whatever. But I'm loading my drums up, and the same guy approaches me in the parking lot and says, hey, I didn't want to say this in front of your buddies, but I think I have a band that will work with you if you would be interested in coming down to Studio City tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And I ended up getting on with a band called Brand New Day. And that was, we actually recorded that album at the infamous One-on-One Studios where Metallica did the Black Album, Alice in Chains. I mean, there's a long list of people who've done records there.
Yeah.
And, we had some success with that. I was in another band called My Demise, which was a total metal band, and we played with, a lot. Power Man 5000 we toured with, and quite a few different guys. Mm-hmm. But everybody kind of knows me from one different album or another, or a different band. But Brand New Day, I guess you could say, was my swan song album today.
We're familiar with it, actually.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, the album I actually did with them was called Instant Dust.
Just the vibe I'm getting from all three of you guys is just like you have so much respect and adoration for each other.
True.
And I'm feeling totally humbled by it. It's really cool. I like it, guys.
Oh, wow. That's,
You're like family. You're like a family,
Yeah, it has to be that way in order for it to work. You see all these bands that they hate each other sometimes. I've seen guys fist fight, And
and
for silly things,
What are you trying to say there, Rob?
Here it goes.
It's kind of like
fight.
No, hey, if
World star.
if we got along all the time, the show would be no fun.
Right.
Well, everybody has their differences. We just have the tools, and we put them in place to get through the tough times. And actually in songwriting, you got to be able to get along in songwriting, because if somebody comes up with a part that just doesn't work for the song, you got to be a man and suck it up and lay it aside and come up with something else.
Yeah,
it's just you work together. You figure out how to work together, and you do it.
Yeah.
You bring up songwriting. How does that process work for you? Who does the majority of it, or is it a collaborative effort all the time?
That would probably be Blake that does the majority of it. He comes in with pretty much a whole song, and we flavor it up.
Yeah.
But
So
the cool thing is that Blake gives us a lot of room to do our own thing. It's not like he comes to me and says, hey, Rob, hey, Marty, I've got this in my mind. You need to do it this way. It's really not that way. And I love that. I really do. Because it just
the same thing with the vocals too. Blake will do a scratch vocal recording for me. And he goes, here you go, man, do your spicing. And I listen to it and work with it. And I come up with the harmonies and it just works like that.
Yeah,
Great.
that's awesome.
Well, and Blake's a hell of a singer. You are an award-winning singer, correct?
Well, I mean, yeah, that goes back a decade.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, the first record was really kind of, coming out of the Spirit Tree days. We did Rob and I had incredible success through the Lixeray days, which was amazing. During that time, we were part of a scene that probably will never be again on the Sunset Strip. It was all new. Local music was so celebrated. People actually came out to see the local bands like Lixeray and our buddies Leatherwolf and
man.
And so there I met, we're very good friends with them, all from Orange County. So, after the Lixeray thing changed, I think, grunge came in, which was great because I love that type of music. It leveled all the hair bands at that time. And then, so we kind of moved into more the direction. It was kind of after Lixeray, it began to take a step toward where we are right now, because Spirit Tree was really kind of a more like the precursor, really the heavy vibe, the Soundgarden, Alice in Chains.
Yeah, you guys were evolving.
Totally evolving. And so it really kind of brought us into hIPNOSTIC and stuff. So getting into the first record, the Dissolve Me record, was really kind of an experimental thing for myself. I never had really taken over the lead vocal things. I learned a tremendous amount by taking that. I wanted to take on the challenge. Rob and I always sang backups in the bands we were in. We always worked with some incredible singers. But, at that time, it kind of the music business begins to take a lot of the fun out of it. Through the Lixeray things, we were shopping deals. Everybody told you need to wear your pants like this, your hair like this.
Yeah.
Kind of like country is now.
Yes, it is. It's amazing how that actually has kind of morphed into kind of like a country Bon Jovi is kind of where country's become right now.
Yeah. Who's the new guy? He's got the tattoos on his neck and stuff, and he's all the rage.
Yeah.
And it's weird because he's kind of the bad boy of country now.
Yeah.
Have you seen this? I don't listen to the guy.
Yeah, I have. And we can see where that's going. And so, so that for the first record, Rob was kind of on hiatus doing some other stuff. And I kind of just really started hIPNOSTIC as really a love of just kind of getting back to what it was when I was a younger kid, just about, really was into production and mixing. So I wanted to I'm just going to write some music that I love, no expectations at all. And to kind of try to take over lead singing and playing, which is always a challenge. And through the years, I've become more confident at it. And I try to stay in the wheelhouse of what I can do best. And it's been incredible as it's been growing. But that record, basically, when it kind of came out, 2004, 2005, it was really a surprise. And we got some awards, and, Fox Sports Net played a couple tunes off it. And then we got the song Rituals in the movie called The Dead Matter, which is kind of like a zombie flick, kind of like the Walking Dead style. So
double tap.
So it was really
That was quick.
And so we've continued that. It's been an incredible, a lot of things happened that was really humbling and I was very gratifying to see some of that kind of happen. So to hear you crank up Dissolve Me, it's kind of like brings me back to where I was 10 years ago. And then thinking like, man, if I really grown a lot since those days. And then I flash forward to Ain't No Sunshine Here. And I think, all the hard work and staying with it and becoming more comfortable in my performance skin, so to speak. And then, Rob deciding to get back into it was just the most awesome thing. And then, and then coming up to the, this year and meeting Marty, it really, like we tell Marty, is like the final puzzle of this thing, a lot like what we went through with Lixeray with all the iterations of the band. Sometimes like a band like Rush, Geddy, Neil, and, people kind of call Rob and I the Geddy and Alex of hIPNOSTIC, and And Marty is definitely the Neil Peart, right? Marty.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's a little high expectation.
You got this.
But no, it's been so we really feel like we've come home, and then Marty feels like a brother like Rob and I. So like you were saying, Rebel, there is great appreciation. We're humble people. We really feel when you've been in this business long enough, and you're able to be like this year we've had. We kind of you come at it with a great amount of gratitude, because you really didn't expect that things were going to happen. We didn't expect that we'd meet someone wonderful like Marty, who would be the final piece of the puzzle. We enjoy hanging out. It's exciting to see these things happen this year that we didn't expect. And it's like I said, 2017, we're looking forward to having a lot more fun and looking forward to what's going to be coming our way.
That's amazing. Are you guys doing this full time?
Oh, I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah. We definitely have alter egos on the other side.
Yeah.
That's,
Understood.
Yeah, well, I mean, original music. I mean, it's for a young band like ourselves. It's not, I mean, obviously the big artists can even say how record sales and music doesn't really pay like it used to at all.
Right.
Yep.
Nope.
So I mean, they're touring more, and we hope to do that, but we obviously have responsibilities at home, so we I mean, all of us have our alter ego out of this. We were chuckling this week as we met for a band meeting, and Marty and I were looking at each other. Oh, so that's what you look like during the day.
That is so
I
awesome.
look the same though.
Yeah.
Just dirtier.
Oh my gosh. You know what we should do? We should play a game. We should play guess the employment or guess the career.
occupation?
Yes.
Did you guess
Okay.
Let's
that
do
would
it.
be good.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go with Marty says, do you want fries with that? Blake says, yes, I am your new accountant. And Rob says, oh, God. Rob, are you employed?
I'm here. What did you say?
No, God, just have both. If I...
Oh, yes, I am actually self-employed.
So that tells me that he
yeah.
works with heavy equipment,
There you
and
go.
he's in a band because he can't hear you.
Hey, Rob, who's in the room with you there listening in on the conversation here? Because I just heard a
that
voice.
would be my lovely wife, Candy.
Hi, Candy.
Lovely
Candy, how you
wife
doing?
Candy. Hi. Oh,
It's a party.
amazing.
Marty, was I right?
Not even close.
You're so right.
Although, would you like to supersize that?
Whoa, you're a gigolo?
I am actually a laser engineer that's involved in ophthalmology in the LASIK surgery.
Really?
Absolutely.
I can see that.
Before it
That's-
was even approved.
That is
You
funny.
can see that? Is that what you said?
That is funny because I was going to pin you for a doctor of some sort. And then, Rob, I was going to put you as a high school
Proctologist.
teacher.
No, my folks were both school teachers, but I didn't go that route. I didn't like school, so I stuck to wood shop. I actually I am the owner of Swanson Custom Woodworks.
Oh,
and,
wonderful.
we do high-end custom entertainment centers, home offices, all kinds of crazy, intricate, high-end woodwork.
Cool.
Wonderful. And then Blake, I'm kind of conflicted on you. I was thinking maybe like attorney or.
No, actually, it's kind of the same industry I've been in for. I guess right out of high school. I guess I'm actually a global sales manager for electronic company. So I'm
There you go.
So I work. So I guess a bit of the gift for the gab and the sales and stuff like that. But yeah, I work with. We're a large organization that makes a lot of consumer products. The cabling that would be used in electronic systems, and I've been in the industry, just like Rob, for a long time, and it's just always been a great way to pay the bills. And so but I have a team of salespeople that I manage and stuff like that. So
Nice.
So the funny thing is that, like Marty would say, and I tripped out on him, is that, during the day we look nothing like it. We've got I got the shirt and tie and the hair slicked back, and most people, it's funny. Some people last year have come out to some of the shows and they just can't really wrap their head around it because we're so different. But, you need to do what you need to do. The one thing is proud to say that all three of us are very responsible and take care of our family and our wives and stuff like that. And
Yeah, that's
and
amazing.
I guess that goes to the fact that we are really grounded individuals that we just love what we do, but we also need to take care of and be responsible on the other side. So
it's totally hilarious because I've actually had some patients come to the shows afterwards, and they're like, "Dude, if I would have known what you do at night, I would have never let you touch."
That is amazing.
Your response is, you wouldn't have been able to see that it was me, sir.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Hey, you know what? Since we have a fourth party in here, Miss Candy.
Step up to the mic.
Hi, come talk to me, sweetheart.
Okay.
Shit's about to get real, just so you know.
Here she is.
I'm just going to fly off the whim here and say that you guys have been married for a while, right?
1 year, a little
Just
over a
1
year.
year.
Okay, well that's good enough.
In a row?
Yeah. 3 years in a row.
I've never been able to ask this question to a spouse of I'm just going to throw it out there and say rock star, because all three of you are rock stars. Rob is a good looking dude. So
That's exactly what I was thinking.
How is it? How is it when he's, at a show or when he's touring or whatever? Like, how can you wrap your mind around it, and not be jealous? Like, I know that it takes a lot of trust and all that other stuff, but I've just always kind of wondered from a woman's perspective on their man going out and being a musician with all the ladies, possibly throwing themselves at your man.
Well, I haven't experienced the tour thing yet, but I do worry about it.
Yeah.
And I just know our love is strong, so I don't really worry about. I really don't have a jealousy thing.
Yeah.
And it's not like it was in the 80s where you had groupies running, trying to find your address or anything. So
it's not. Got it. I quit.
I don't think it's like that anymore. I mean,
No.
we went to at the Whiskey, and we went down to the Rainbow, and it's just not the same as it was back in the 80s and 90s. So I don't really have that worry yet. It could be, they could get, I won't be able to go on tour sometimes because I have to hold down a job here too. And I probably will be like, you didn't call me off the stage. You were supposed to call me, It
takes a very special woman to do that. Even in my situation, with the evil one, I mean, it's like both of us have fans, and and we have to definitely, there's a trust thing. And so that's very cool.
Yeah.
I like that. You guys would be fine.
It's not hard with Rob. He's a very loyal person.
Yeah,
and
it's amazing.
I'm loyal, and I'm a one person girl. We have the eyes for each other, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength there. Definitely.
Wait,
Cool.
Marty, you have eyes for Rob? Marty has eyes for Rob. Is that what the same wavelength is?
Those damn chaps.
Blake, I got another question for you real quick. Something that I was running across your stuff here, and I wanted to ask you something. And that was the name Hypnostic. And okay, so, the band name question, that's probably been done. But I noticed you spell it with a lowercase h, and the rest of it's all capitalized. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. And the name was, in going through picking a name, starting a project, was just trying to come up with something that was, does it mean anything? I guess not necessarily. In a hypnotized state, I guess some people use it in a way, or it's kind of a twist on that, but it was kind of just something different and unique. And it just kind of seemed, I guess, original. And so I kind of went with that. But the interesting thing is about the lowercase h. It's funny. The story is I was oftentimes typing on the computer, and I would always leave the
caps lock.
I think yes, it was fun.
I do that very thing.
and it always aggravated me. And then so one time I was typing, I was thinking well, that's kind of a unique way to use the bold letters, but then have the lower H, kind of like the band. I think it was a band called Fire Hose or Fire, that kind of a reggae band that you kind of did. I noticed they did that too, but it really, I wish I had a great answer that was something incredible.
No, that's
about
cool. That's cool.
That is.
But it was really, it was like, I just looked at it and I go like, well, that's something kind of unique to go with a unique name. And I just kind of ran with it. And it's so cool that, it's just something's kind of a symbol. It's kind of, I meant with all our merchandising, the lower H has become kind of a symbol of the band in a way. Right. So it kind of morphed out of it. So it was kind of a funny story the way it came out, because those cap lock things always frustrate me. I leave it on, I leave it off. Like,
well, yeah, because you've really capitalized on that H, like in the sun style logo that you use, and
yeah.
And it works. I just thought, well, maybe there's some really cryptic thing behind it, So I had to ask.
He's been decoding the name of your band for the last week. He's
and it's a simple, memorable name that kind of has just it just kind of runs off the tongue, and we just wanted something that was strong, and so it's continued, and we've branded it that way, and the symbol. Logo has been a strong identifying factor with the band. And like I said, we've all been doing it long enough, and it's very important that we present ourselves and brand the band in a way that we're doing it, and stay, consistent with that. So it's been really great. Yeah. People getting to recognize when they see the symbol, they know instantly who we are.
Yeah.
So.
Branding is really, really important, especially in Western culture.
Yes.
Yeah. And that symbol is a result of Blake's mad scientist hours in front of Adobe Photoshop, just tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. He's like sending me stuff on my phone. Hey, what do you think of this? Boom. What do you think of this? 2:00 in the morning. What do you think of this?
I have done the same thing. When we started this show, I was working on the branding incessantly and nonstop for, I don't know, months.
I was getting texts in the middle of the night, 2, 3 a.m. What the hell?
Yeah, quick question to you guys. I meant, since branding is so important to us, and we look at all the nuances of that, if you look at all the stuff that we do, we definitely look like we take a sense of time to try to think about branding and all aspects of it. The one thing I noticed with you guys is you guys take a lot of time into the way you put your ads together, and who does all the graphics for you?
Evil.
Very impressive. I have to say that. I was like, the radio announcements and stuff like that. I can tell that you guys, more than others out there, that you guys take the time to do that too. So I can greatly appreciate it.
If you don't promote yourself, no one else is going to do it. And even if you pay them, they're only going to do it half as good as you.
That is kind of what all three of us have determined. We're a self-sufficient band that do all the stuff ourselves at this stage. I think, we've learned a lot through the years. So we're using that, down to the recording process. Rob and I and Marty have recorded in studios, big studios. And it was always fascinating to me. So I really got into that. And then, when we need stage setups and stuff like that, and stage, we have some real cool stage platforms and stuff. And then that's an area where Rob is obviously an awesome expert at. He's created some awesome staging. So, and Marty, he's I guess he's getting into a new pair of assless chaps here.
And you know what I gotta say, man? That lowercase H just does nothing for my left cheek, man.
Hey, I gotta ask you guys a question here.
Well, at least it covers up that pimple.
Oh, damn! That's not a pimple.
At this point, that thing's got an eyeball on it.
Oh, hey, that's not the bad part. It winked at me. So, listen, you guys have obviously got a lot of experience on your belt. Let's talk a little shop here. Funniest thing you've seen on tour that you guys have been involved in personally?
Wow.
And because there's a lot of stuff. Oh, whenever, man, because you know how it is.
Well, I think
I have one.
Okay, Rob, you go.
It wasn't with this band. It was with our previous band, Licks Array. We went out and did a bunch of shows in Salt Lake City, Denver, Phoenix, Vegas, and as we were going through the desert, we took a pit stop because the rule was number 2 does not go in the motorhome; right. It goes out somewhere else. So as we're on the side of the road, a couple of the crew guys thought it'd be really funny to drain the septic tank onto the road. And,
Dave Matthews.
as that was bubbling across the road in this huge pool, everyone standing there laughing, there's this giant truck coming up, headed right for that pool. And it was moving really fast. And before we could realize what was going to happen,
oh no, it happened.
The truck hit that pool of piss and splashed. As we were running around the front of the motorhome. And oh man,
Amazing.
Did that really
that
piss you off?
that definitely pissed me off.
Good one.
I mean, I was really mad because my white Nike's all dirty.
You caught Sloppy taking a drink of his water. You just spit it back out.
Oh man, it almost came out my nose. Funny.
That's funny, man.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if there's any been. This year has just been kind of a lot of. I'm thinking this year if we had any real funny stories. I don't know. Anything that you come up with on that, Marty, at all? I mean, as far as
for sure. Not that long ago when we were playing with Sebastian Bach, we realized that somebody was attending the show, and he got there at sound check. I'm sitting there looking at the guy. I'm like, well, he looks a little bit different, but I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. So I go up and I go, hey, man, I'm glad to see you. Good to hear. I'm still kind of like not sure who he is. And he turns on and looks at me and goes, yeah, man, how you doing there? I'm just here to check out some music and see the show.
Was it Dice Clay?
It was Dice Clay.
No shit.
That was probably another moment of like kind of fanning out there because it's Dice.
Yeah. Right.
And he hung out with us before the show, and even when we loaded out our gear out onto the dock out back, he's sitting out there and he goes, "Yeah, you guys are like the goddamn second coming of Alice in Chains. I dig it."
That's right.
Oh, that's funny.
And for the record, you do a pretty good dice.
That was a pretty good dice.
Wow,
Yeah.
you figured it out. That's amazing.
Little Miss Muffet. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No.
Old Mother Hubbard.
That's what he was telling me. It was so hilarious because he's telling me all these stories, about his poems,
Right.
and how he's made a fortune off of that. But he also explained to me how he got Guns N' Roses back together.
Oh,
Yes.
it was him now, huh?
That's what I understand. And actually, Rolling Stone backed that up.
What?
Yeah.
Because I heard a lot of people try to take credit.
Just for the record, I try not to read Rolling Stone most of the time. I get a little upset. I get a little upset with some of their publication. But do tell. Go ahead and paraphrase, if you will.
How he explained it?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
He said that he was down in Australia.
Well, time out. You got to do it in his voice.
No, you don't.
No.
So I'm down in Australia. I'm up in the hotel lobby. I says, so what you doing down here, Slosh? He says, oh, I'm here to do a national anthem for the soccer game going on here. And I was like, wow, that sounds like a great gig. So I'm gonna go forward here a little bit, I said, you really need to probably reach out to Axel and the boys and, get this shit back together, man. This is not the right thing to do. He says, so the next thing I know, I'm over at Axl Rose's house and we're having dinner. And he says, I get on my phone and I text Slash. I said, hey, I'm sitting here with Axel. You should send him a birthday wish. Sure enough, he Twitters or whatever it is. And Axel sits there and goes, I don't really know what to do with this. Because I said, you should really reach out and, talk to you.
Oh my God.
Then, my boys were playing at a little show, and so I invited Duff down to take a look at him. And I said, so Duff, how's that book option going for you? So in a nutshell, he basically shamed each one of them.
Wow. I got to tell you that one of the greatest moments on our show right now, and I'm going to probably put that in a clip on its own, is you retelling it in his voice. That was amazing.
Well, you don't hear it first at the honest brutality. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
Holy
gosh.
shit,
That's
that was
fantastic.
That's amazing.
You guys have been such wonderful, wonderful guests. Is there anything that we didn't touch on today that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I mean, I guess we would talk a little bit about the new video that came out.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's been in the works for about 14 months. Like I said, as unique as the original song is in the audio version, with doing it with our own twist, we wanted to take the visual aspect in a different way. Everybody's kind of known the song as it being kind of a love song about, when she's gone and the brokenhearted romance. But we really wanted to take it. And this had been probably 15, 16 months ago before all the election and all that stuff had ever happened, or earlier before it had begun. And we thought about, taking a unique twist on it visually with the metaphor of the she being Lady Liberty. And so, obviously, despite whatever political parties, the song is really, it's about patriotism for our country. And it's really a patriotic twist that we took with the visual aspect of it that has really been embraced as much as the audio version of it. I mean, the video is really done first week. It did 1,000 views in 1 week, and we've really received incredible reviews on it. With it being something to kind of remind us of the beautiful country we live in, despite all the differences and the political stuff that we've been through. We really need to focus on really the incredible country we live in.
Well said.
So that's really what it is. Yeah. It really is meant to focus on being a patriotic look at Lady Liberty and really what our country was and where it's going, and to be kind of reminded that we're all a lot more alike than we are different, and that's kind of really what we wanted to do with the video.
Yeah, and you know what? That's just another example of you guys making it your own. You know what I mean?
Yes,
because the interpretation is amazing. It's funny that you actually brought that up, because when I first saw the video, I was like, "Whoa, what?" And then that whole scenario like dawned on me, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." So yeah, kudos to you guys on that. All of it.
Yeah. So, that was, we've really never had a video of our a real professional pro video, and we did it all ourselves,
it looks great.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So it was a challenge. It was a lot of work. It was, a ton of editing, to bounce around. We wanted the video to move and have energy and kind of give a feeling of what the band is live and the performance aspect, and then focus on a lot of the important things of America. So, it's really been great. I think it's a great tool that will bring people, because, visual and audio together, that's what makes videos so great, is it's really brought us a lot of new fans that are, checking it out on YouTube. And so we're really proud of that. So that's the latest thing that just came out, the end of October. And it wasn't really timed to be before the election, but it was very timely in that way.
Right.
And I think I remember when I first had played it for Marty and Rob at rehearsal, had been working on the edits, and we had an idea and storyboarded what we wanted to do, but we were at rehearsal, and it really meant a lot. And Marty would say too, that it really moved him. And I found myself being moved at times, even though I'd seen it so many times, when I, about things that I remember about our country, or remembering about the great things that we have here, and how everybody really wants to be in America or looks to America because of the wonderful things that happen here. So we've had a lot of people write how it moved them in different ways.
We'll make sure we spin it some more, and we'll put it on the backside of this conversation on the episodes tab on our webpage as well.
Yeah. Hey, what are the chances of you guys coming north and playing?
Oh, we absolutely. Yeah. I know that's kind of in the talks, and absolutely to handshake each of you guys and give you a big hug. And
that's what I'm talking about.
There we go.
I'm scared to shake somebody's hand named Sloppy.
Yeah, that's not my hand.
Can I ask you guys a question? How about to you guys in all the interviewing or the bigger bands that you've met? Were there any fan moments for you that you guys had?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can I go first?
Yes. Sure.
I didn't meet her, but I photographed her. So Maria Brink of In This Moment.
Oh yeah,
As
love
one,
that band.
yeah, it's one of my favorite bands, and it's a long story short. It's just it's an emotional connection. So anyhow,
Awesome.
she came to, what was it, San Francisco area?
It was San Jose,
San Jose.
Mountain View.
Yeah, Mountain View. And so I put in for photo credentials on that, and they awarded them, which was amazing. And so Evil, my daughter and I had gone, and so I was just going to go take the pictures, and, you know, because there are 3 songs and then you're out, and then go hang out with them, and then when the next one came on, and so on and so forth. Well, I get up to the booth to pick up my photo passes, and they had 2 of them. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, wow, okay, that's cool, right on, you know, whatever. Well, I carry 2 cameras on me at all times. So I met up with Evil and my daughter again, and I was like, yeah, it was so weird. They gave me, you know, 2 tickets, and he's like, why don't you take her in the pit with you? And I was like, oh my God, that's it. That's just such a brilliant, you know, a brilliant thing. So anyhow, I was like, do you want to go? And she's like, heck yeah. She loves Maria too. She's like, heck yeah. So it was crazy because we went down there and we're sitting in front of the stage, and it was just such a surreal moment for me anyway. But to be sitting there with my camera, getting ready to photograph one of my favorite female singers, and looking over to my side and seeing my 13-year-old daughter standing there, it was really hard not to lose it and stuff.
And at that
Wow.
and at that venue,
great.
when you're at the stage side, you're real close to the artist.
Like 3,
at that
not even
stage.
3 feet away from her.
So it's pretty
It was
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great story. Wow, thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What about you, Sloppy?
Mine just
Recently?
one of the coolest moments. Yeah, recently I got to meet Max Cavalera at Aftershock.
I ran
Wow.
into Chico once.
Oh, really?
For real, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a trip because we just had his son Richie on.
Who that's
talking about-
what a cool guy.
Yeah, and
He's
talking to you know, about his band, and then we went to Aftershock, and I was kind of bummed out because we couldn't get him on our show,
Right.
Because
They were full.
It's impossible, you know, trying to get. But I happened to be back
Short
there
press windows.
and saw him, and was able to, you know, get a picture with him real quick, and then talk to him for a moment. And said, "Hey, we just had Richie on the show," and then he just stopped, and he was willing to talk to me at that point, and it was pretty cool.
Wow, that's
Yes.
great.
Yeah, it was great. So I got a picture with him and Igor. And then the cool part was my son was at this show too, but I couldn't get him back to the press area. So I went back out and said, hey, check this out. And he was like, oh my, and to him, it suddenly became real.
Yeah.
What we do.
Yeah, what we do.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, check this out, son. And he got all fanboyish too. And it was pretty cool, man. It was a cool moment.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Evil,
That's
let's hear yours. I know what yours is, but let's hear
I've
it.
held it together pretty good up until I had a Neil Fallon sighting, and and I'm a huge fan of the band Clutch. It's one of my all-time favorite bands.
Oh wow.
And
Yep.
he walked by, and we were actually in a media area, and he was relaxing, and I could tell he was, and I was really kind of reluctant to bother the guy. But I got to tell you, I'm really glad that I walked up and just said, "Hi, Neil. Nice to meet you." You know, blah blah blah. He got up, took the time, shook my hand, told me about the book he was reading, talked about the day. You know, just a totally humble, cool guy. Took a couple pictures. And yeah, I quite honestly, I'm glad I wasn't trying to interview him because I'd have been.
No.
That's all. Now Neil's a singer for Clutch, right?
That is correct. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. Great band. I meant the very heavy riffing band.
Oh,
Yeah.
and they're fun
Oh, yeah.
live. He's so kooky. I love it. He's such a super cool, humble dude.
Wow, awesome. Wow, God, I'm thank you for sharing. It's always good to hear everybody's stories.
Well,
So
thank you for
that's awesome.
asking. That's amazing.
That's interesting.
Definitely awesome.
Today has been one of
And
those
so-
days where we had the script flipped on us.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah, right. Yeah, what's up?
I
man?
like it though. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Well, I meant, it's great to get to know you guys. We consider
Yeah.
you, friends and
Thank
families.
you.
We continue to grow here, and we look forward to getting up there. I know Marty has done shows with other bands up that he's been in before, and so we are really looking forward. We hear there's quite a scene up there, and would hopefully hope that maybe we can hook up something with Puddle of Mud, and that's in the works right now because like I said, we're beginning to play more shows with them, and we're starting off 2017 with a great bang. We're doing a support show with Puddle of Mud up at the Big Bear Mountain. There's the big ski resort.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a big rock club there, and we're huge fans. We've got to know them really well with this past year. So when we were asked to support them, direct support for them, we're thinking like, wow, that's a great way to start off the year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot colder, so it's going to be interesting to see which band member will be wearing their assless chaps.
That is so amazing. That's so amazing.
I bought the special ones with the defroster on it.
I thought the defroster came built in, standard equipment.
Defroster.
Oh my gosh.
The scary ones with the wipers on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we just want to thank you guys. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share our music with you, and we look forward to a long partnership of rocking and heavy music together. We will definitely keep you posted on new stuff. We hope that as the record continues to go through here, we'll try to get a single out. We'd love to debut it on the show.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
thank you.
You know what? Thank you for sharing with us, and you're welcome here anytime.
absolutely.
And speaking of sharing, let's just go ahead and do one more shameless plug. Tell the listening audience how they find you, how they contact you, where they can see you, where they can buy your music, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, no problem. Real simple. It's hIPNOSTIC.com. I mean, if you Google the name, it being a pretty unique name, everything comes up. hIPNOSTIC.com will get you linked up to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all our stuff there. So hIPNOSTIC.com is a place to start. Of course, or you go on Facebook but that's really where you'll reach everything and be able to link out from there. And then, we welcome people sending us messages on the website, questions. We get a lot of questions through the website and stuff. So that's a great place to start to find out what we're doing and keeping an eye on the band.
It's a pretty slick website too. Looks good.
It's very nice.
Yeah, we try once again that branding thing. I mean, it's very important,
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
So, that's where everybody can find out what we're doing, and like I said, we're gonna, continue here working on the new music and getting in the recording mode. The great thing is we're going to be recutting some of Marty's drum tracks at Dave Marino's studio, who's the drummer for Puddle of Mud, which is great.
Oh,
so
cool.
it's that friendship. So Dave's got a great studio. We've been in talks. Marty's excited about it because the two drummers are going to get together and slam it out. And I imagine the tracks are going to be amazing. And so we can't wait for you to hear it. So a little plug for Dave there, Chili Drums, who's been a great supporter of the band. And so that's our growing partnership with Puddle of Mud, and it's going to be awesome. And Marty's pretty excited about that. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to be spreading the word on honest brutality out there.
Thank
Good.
you.
We like hearing that.
You totally rule, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was hIPNOSTIC. And if you haven't already checked them out, you need to.
Yes, you do.
You should have already hit pause and went over and listened to them and then came back.
And then come back. We do have people who do that.
I know. It's
Yes,
good stuff.
we do.
It's good stuff because they tell us. That's why I said
I
that.
know.
Yeah. In the meantime, this has been Honest Brutality. You can reach us by going to our website, honestbrutality.com, where all things Honest Brutality, all times. Our emails are listed there. We do have all kinds of fun stuff on there, including our own little Amazon store with stuff that we handpick. We'll go find some hIPNOSTIC stuff and throw it in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. What am I missing here?
Phone number.
Oh, yeah, you can call us.
Give us a call, 530-962-0411. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, and then whichever outlet you are listening to this podcast on, please go subscribe, rate, and review. We would totally appreciate that. Thank you.
In the meantime, hIPNOSTIC, can we get you to say goodbye to all of our listeners?
Thank you, Honest Brutality listeners, for cranking out the station and listening to hIPNOSTIC.
Oh, this is Rob. I guess I'll say my goodbyes. We're out of here. It was awesome hanging out with you guys. You guys are awesome. Like I said before, you rock.
Right on, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
And I just want to thank you all at Honest Brutality.
Yeah.
That's
Already
amazing.
been listening.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. It was awesome.
Stay metal!
Stay metal.
sunshine when she's gone. And she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, it's not warm when she's away. I wonder this time where she's gone. I wonder if she's gone to stay. I wonder this time where she's gone. I wonder if she's gone to stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And this house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. Sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And this house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. Goes away. She goes away. She goes away.